Shot clock at 6. Bryant for 3. Puts it in! Kobe Bryant from downtown! And the Lakers regain the lead. Look at the determination on his face.
Hi, I'm Malcolm Beatty, and welcome to the Jesus Mentality. If you're a basketball fan, you've heard the term Mamba mentality. Coined by Laker great Kobe Bryant, it has been used repeatedly throughout the world. But many people don't actually understand the true definition. So before we get into this devotional, let's take a look at Kobe Bryant defining Mamba mentality.
And, the Mamba mentality simply means trying to be the best version of yourself. That's what the mentality means. It means every day, you're trying to become better. And it's a constant quest. It's an infinite quest.
So as you see, it's a very simple definition. And now for Christians, I want us to look to a different mentality. That one is what this devotional is called, the Jesus mentality. And just like the Mamba mentality, it's a very simple definition. And the Jesus mentality is every day trying to become more like Jesus. Now, before I get more into this devotional, I do want to say one quick thing. The only way that we can get into heaven is by the grace of God. There's no amount of works that we can do to gain salvation. However, in the Bible, Jesus does lay out instruction on how we are supposed to live our lives. Matthew chapter 5, verse 48 says, "But you are to be perfect, even as your Father in heaven is perfect." 1 Peter 1, verse 15 and 16, "But as he who called you is holy, you also be holy in all your conduct, because it is written, 'Be holy, for I am holy.'" So now what I want to do is look at some parallels between these verses and Kobe Bryant. One of the ways Kobe went about his pursuit of greatness was that he studied the greats before him and worked hard to emulate them. The player he emulated the most was Michael Jordan.
I would go to the house and he'd be like, Lise. I'm like, what? Lise, come here. Watch this. So he's watching Jordan videos.
Michael Jordan videos?
Michael Jordan. He's clicking the pause and look, Lise, watch.
So he studied Michael Jordan.
Beyond studied. I mean, he would obsess.
This is a fun game for me.
Everybody's talking about Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan.
Oh, well, this is the matchup that everybody's been waiting to see.
I learned a lot this game. A lot about how technically sound Michael was. Because it's one thing in watching him play, and then it's another thing in playing against him.
He's now in a postgraduate course.
Yeah, boy. Accelerated learning.
His technique was flawless. I wanted to make sure my technique was just as flawless.
Been down at half court, and he wanted to know how, when I turn around on my jump shot, how to feel the defense. I told him you should feel the defense with your legs. Once you feel the defense with your legs, you can take advantage of that.
That was very inspiring for me.
So what I really love about these clips is that Kobe looked at Michael Jordan as the perfect basketball player. He studied him and said, that's the type of basketball player that I want to be. Perfect. As Christians, we have Jesus for that. We can look at Jesus, we can look in his word and see that he was flawless. Another thing about Kobe was this. He didn't want to just be like Mike. He wanted to surpass Michael Jordan. As Christians, we obviously can't emulate what Jesus did for us on the cross. But as far as Jesus the man, he tells us in his word that there are areas where we can surpass him. In John 14:12, he says, "Most assuredly I say to you, he who believes in me, the works that I do, he will do also. And greater works than these he will do, because I go to my Father." Let's look to examples of this in the Bible. Acts 5 verse 15, "So that they brought the sick out into the streets and laid them on beds and couches, that at least the shadow of Peter passing by might fall on some of them." Acts 19 verse 11 and 12, "Now God worked unusual miracles by the hands of Paul, so that even handkerchiefs or aprons were brought from his body to the sick, and the diseases left them, and the evil spirits went out of them." Another thing about Kobe was this. It wasn't just about surpassing Mike or emulating Mike. He emulated other players as well. Bill Russell, Jerry West, Oscar Robertson, Elgin Baylor. One of my favorite clips is him listening to Gary Payton as Gary Payton is teaching him defense. Let's check that clip out and let's listen to what Kobe Bryant has to say about that and other players as well.
Let's look at Oscar Robertson. Take me through what you're watching here.
What I watched when I was a kid was just watching his body position, how he uses his body, and then how he's freezing the defender and creating space and things like that. You know, he was blessed to have that big old booty. I don't have a big old booty, so I can't. I got to use other means to create space. I actually won the game with that one against Toronto.
Right. That quick release.
Yeah.
Same quick release.
Yeah.
Jerry West.
His pull-up jump shot was absolutely vicious. See, that was just, you're using more of a dynamic pull-up shoot. See that right there? So Oscar's was, using his body, but you see Jerry's kind of like me. He's wiry, kind of uses quickness to get guys off. See?
Nice little up fake.
I use that a lot too. I'm actually watching the defender a lot and trying to figure out, what is he seeing as an offensive player to make him do what he's doing, or why that makes sense in terms of what is he thinking at that moment, and why did that move work.
What teammate that you took something from that stuck with you for your career, that you was like, I took that from him and it was great advice and I always remember that?
A couple things. One was more tactical in nature, which was Eddie Jones, and he taught me how to chase guards around screens off the ball. So I kept getting hit.
You see him coming off right here, Walt Williams, and you see Kobe trailing, can't do anything defensively, swipes at the ball, and Walt likes it, yeah.
Well, he taught me how to shadow him.
He was sick at that.
He was great. He would trail behind you, trail behind the outside shoulder, and then once you get around the pick, he body up the hip and then slide between.
Slide right through that door.
Yeah, so he taught me that. That helped me out a lot, and I use that forever. Gary Payton as well taught me how to get through screens on the ball. Getting hit with ball screens is like the worst feeling for a guard when you're guarding the ball. And so he taught me how to move up into the ball handler, make yourself thin, and then slide through the screen. Yeah. So those are the two things that I take with me.
You see, when I watch the games, I try to figure out what each player's agenda is and to see how well he's carrying that out. That's the way I watch it.
Me too. But I got that because I read your book.
Oh, okay.
That's why I picked up on it.
Okay.
So even though Jesus is our greatest example, we still have other people in the Bible who we can look at to emulate. Daniel, his devotion to God, even at the risk of death. You also have Abraham, who made a lot of mistakes, but still ultimately trusted God. Those are just to name two. So now in closing, I just want to say thank you for listening. These devotions aren't just for you, they're for me as well. I struggle in where I want to be in my walk for Christ. So please in the comment section, put uplifting text for me and others as we strive for the Jesus mentality. Thank you so much for listening.
Lakers do not have any timeouts. The Heat in the penalty, so they can't foul. Wade is guarding Bryant. Artest looking, gets it to Bryant. Bryant dribbling, has to put it up at the buzzer. Banks it in!